Welcome to Under the Skin, a health equity series from Elevate Black Wellness. I'm Christina Blocker, and along with my husband Keith Blocker, we co founded Elevate Black Wellness to advance health and wellness in Black communities through intervention, connection, and prevention. This series is inspired by Linda Villarosa's groundbreaking book, Under the Skin: The Hidden Toll of Racism on Health in America. Each episode, we go deep on one theme, exploring what hasn't changed, what historical practices still influence today, and most importantly, what we can do about it. This is wellness as knowledge. This is knowledge as power. So let's get into it. The Right to Be Remembered, Part 1. Before we name the physician that history has celebrated, let us name the women history tried to erase: Anarcha, Betsy, and Lucy. These are the true mothers of modern gynecology. Between 1845 and 1849 in Montgomery, Alabama, these teenagers aged 17 to 19 endured what no person should ever have to endure. A physician named J. Marion Sims performed dozens of experimental surgeries on their bodies without anesthesia, even after it became available. He believed, as many physicians of his era did, that Black people did not feel pain the way white people did. Anarcha alone endured 30 surgeries over 4 years without anesthesia, without consent, and without the basic recognition of her humanity. 30 times she survived. For generations, the man who experimented on her was celebrated as the father of modern gynecology. Statues were erected in his honor, and medical schools were named after him. But those statues are coming down, and in their place, something new is rising. In September 2021, artist Michelle Browder unveiled the Mothers of Gynecology Monument in Montgomery, about 1 mile from where Sims conducted his experiments. She made them tall on purpose. Anarcha stands 15 feet high, Betsy 12 feet, and Lucy 9. Never again, Browder said, would anyone look down on these women. These sculptures are made from donated scrap metal, symbolizing, in Browder's words, the beauty in the broken and discarded. Browder has since purchased the actual site where Sims performed his experiments. She's building a museum, a clinic, and a training space for medical students, doulas, and midwives. The place where harm happened will become a place where healers are trained. That is what repair looks like. What hasn't changed? Monuments are only the beginning. The question is, what has actually changed in the doctor's office, urgent care, or in the emergency room? The answer is uncomfortable. Sims believed Black women felt less pain. That belief extended to Black patients of all ages and genders and never left American medicine. In 2016, researchers surveyed 222 white medical students and residents at a major university. Half of them endorsed at least one false belief about biological differences between Black and white patients, including the myth that Black people feel less pain. And those who believed these myths, they rated Black patients' pain as lower and made less accurate treatment recommendations. The numbers bear this out. Studies consistently show Black patients are significantly less likely to receive adequate pain medication compared to white patients with the very same conditions. The consequences hit hardest in maternal care. Black women in America die at more than 3 times the rate of white women during pregnancy and childbirth. Between 2022 and 2023, maternal mortality rates dropped significantly for white, Hispanic, and Asian women. For Black women, that rate stayed flat. meaning the gap widened. Tennis champion Serena Williams, one of the most celebrated athletes alive, nearly died after childbirth because medical staff didn't believe her when she said something was wrong. Dr. Camila Phillips puts it plainly. Lots of people don't know about this history, but that's not a mistake. When people of color and women have our stories selectively removed from history books, why would I expect people to know about it? What historic practices still influence today? The beliefs that justified Sims's experiments were never corrected, they were passed down. In the 1850s, Dr. Samuel Cartwright published claims that Black people were insensible to pain. These weren't fringe opinions. They often appeared in medical journals and shaped how physicians understood race and the body. Those ideas didn't just stay in the old medical journals. They entered textbooks, shaped generations of training, and embedded themselves so deeply that most clinicians today don't know where the assumptions came from. Today, some clinical algorithms still adjust treatment recommendations based on race, often to the disadvantage of Black patients. Researchers have a term for what happens when Black people report symptoms and aren't heard. It's called anti-Black medical gaslighting. It's the systematic dismissal of Black patients' as symptoms and lived experiences, the same dismissal that allowed Sims to operate without anesthesia on women whose pain he refused to acknowledge. Medical students learn Sims' techniques. They learn to use the speculum he invented, but most will never learn that he developed those techniques by operating on Black teenagers, Anarcha, Betsy, and Lucy, or that he justified it by claiming Black women didn't feel pain the way white women did. When history is erased, the assumptions it created stay invisible and they become normalized. This is why naming it matters. This is why teaching the full history matters, because a physician who learns what was done to Anarcha is less likely to repeat the assumptions that made it possible. Part 4. What we can do about it. Here is what we know. Change is happening, and communities are leading it. Across the country, Black-led organizations are building the care that mainstream healthcare has failed to provide. The Earth app, described as Yelp for Black and brown moms, lets families review OBGYNs, hospitals, and pediatricians. For the first time, Black women can learn before they walk through the door whether they'll be believed. Black Women Birthing Justice maintains the Black Doula Locator, helping families find doulas who understand their experience. The Southern Birth Justice Network trains birth workers grounded in justice. Policy is shifting too. The Black Maternal Health Momnibus Act, a package of 13 bills addressing everything from workplace development to data collection, has secured over $200 million in federal funding since 2023. 48 states, plus Washington, D.C., and the U.S. Virgin Islands have extended postpartum Medicaid coverage from 60 days to 12 months, with only Arkansas and Wisconsin yet to act. You may not be able to change the system before your next appointment, but you can change what happens in that room. When your concerns are dismissed, you can say, "Please document in my chart that I reported this symptom and your reason for not investigating." That single sentence creates a medical legal record and often prompts action when nothing else will. You can bring someone with you to appointments. You can request a different provider. You can also ask for the patient advocate. The CDC's Hear Her campaign lists the warning signs that should never be dismissed: dizziness, vision changes, swelling, trouble breathing, chest pain, severe nausea, belly pain, or a baby that stops moving. The dismissal of Black women's symptoms doesn't end with pregnancy. It happens across every stage of life. If you're not being heard, escalate, ask for the charge nurse, call the patient advocate, Leave and go somewhere else if you have to. And remember those words. Please document in my chart that I reported this symptom and your reason for not investigating. You have the right to refuse treatment. You have the right to decline any exam. You have the right to understand every procedure before it happens. This is what we're building at Elevate Black Wellness. Not just information, connection, and not just awareness, infrastructure. Anarka, Betsy, and Lucy had no choice. They could not refuse. They could not ask questions. They could not leave. Honoring their memory means ensuring every person today has what they were denied: the right to be believed, the right to understand, the right to refuse, and the right to care that sees them as fully human. The stories we've shared today draw from Linda Villarosa's essential book, Under the Skin: The Hidden Toll of Racism on Health in America. Read it, share it with someone you love, and full citations and resources are waiting at elevateblackwellness.com. Elevate Black Wellness continues this work every day. Join us for Black Wellness Week 2026, our third annual celebration, which will take place April 13th through 17th. Visit our website for resources, tools, and connections to care that see your humanity. We come from people who built what they needed, and we're still building. Thank you for watching, thank you for caring, and thank you for building with us. If this episode was valuable to you, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. Visit elevateblackwellness.com for resources and connection to care that sees you. And join us for Black Wellness Week 2026, April 13th through 17th. I'm Christina Blocker. Until next time, be well.